Hey everybody, it's Christina from Creations with Christina, and we're going to be using some of our paper tray ink products. I'm going to use the button-up card collection, the button-up number 2 dies, and then we're also going to be using the Button Boutique stamp set, that's this one, and the bitty background blocks. So I already have the stamps that I'm going to use for this already taken out. So we're just going to go ahead and get started, and I don't have the stamps taken. I have one of the stamps, so I'm just going to take that one out. We're going to get started. Oh, I wanted to show you first, before a lot of you asked about the doily. You wanted to see the Parisian die one. I didn't do that one yet, but I was just, you know, I had my Cuttlebug out. So this is one of the doilies from the 3 doilies set. And I know these aren't available. I think they're out of stock right now, but they'll get them back soon. They always get them back pretty quickly. So the only thing I did notice is there's a tool that you can purchase, and I think it's like the negative of the die that will punch out the little holes and pop the image out of the die. I'm going to order that next time I place my order. So not that this was hard, but you know, I had to knock out all those little holes with my paper piercer. So let's get started. We're going to start with our button card collection, and I'm going to use all of the pieces to this. We're going to start off with this one right here, and I'm just going to use some off-white cardstock for this. But this is actually their ivory cardstock. So I have my A plate, my B plate, vintage cream, that's what it's called. My cardstock, my die, and my C plate. So I'm just going to go ahead and run this through that's going to be our first one. And if it doesn't come right off the die, I did find that if I just kind of drop it on my desk, it'll work. So, alright, we're still going to be using this cream cardstock, and we're going to be using let's go with this. I love this. When you stamp on it, cut it out and stamp on it, it looks like a little swatch of fabric. So I'm going to put that on here, and I'm going to cut out 3 of those. The next thing we're going to do is cut out our little buttons using the same cardstock, and these are the little scalloped buttons. So I'm just going to stick that right on there. We'll just run that through, and then we're ready to do some stamping, but I'm not done with my Cuttlebug, so I'm just going to set this aside for now. So I'm using this stamp set that says handmade one-of-a-kind buttons, 25 cents. Really, really adorable. Wait until you see it stamped. I'm using my Simply Chartreuse ink, and this is what it matches their Simply Chartreuse cardstock, so it's their perfect match. I inked it. I used my re-inker on this, and I put too much ink on it, so I'm going kind of closer to the bottom, because when I punch out that little tab on the top, I don't want it to really cut off too much of my part that says handmade. So there's that. I'm just going to grab a piece of scrap paper here, because I'm going to tap off some of that extra ink. I really, really inked up that ink pad too much. So there we go, that helps. Alright, so I'm going to run this back through my Cuttlebug with using the little tag top. So we're just going to pull that in, open that up, using the A-B cardstock and my little tag. And we're just going to make sure that's pretty straight. I'm kind of doing this far away, so I want to make sure that I'm not cutting up too high and it's pretty center, so that looks pretty good. Of course, after you bang it, it doesn't look good. There we go. And then we'll just go ahead and cut that. wait till you see this. This is so adorable. So, how cute is that? I just love it. So let me put this away before I lose it, because it's so tiny and I already have lost it in my carpeting. And we're done with our Cuddlebug, so I'm just going to get rid of that. Move some of these. And now what I'm going to do is work with my little buttons here. And I'm going to pull out my piece of scrap paper. We're going to use the Aqua Mist ink. So I'm just going to lay these down. These are Aqua Mist ink, and I love this die. I don't know if you could see the pattern to it. It's got a little bit of a stain from ink on it, so maybe it's a little easier for you to see. So I'm just going to go ahead and ink this up. And I'll stamp that right onto my buttons there. And I missed a little bit of a spot, but I'll come back and get that. And I love the pattern that it makes on these buttons. It's so cute. Isn't that cute? And again, I over inked this ink pad too. It was my first time inking them up. So just so you know, when you're inking up your ink pads, be a little bit careful. So I'm just going to kind of touch the end of that one, and there we go. Fix that perfectly. So that is that one. And again, I'm going to take another piece of scrap paper and do the same thing, because like I said, I did over ink my ink pads. So I'm just going to take a piece of scrap. I keep a little section, a little bunch of printer paper right on my desk here, and grab that for my scrap. So, alright, so there's that. So we're just going to slide these off over here. And then we're going to grab our 3 little squares that we did. And for these, we're going to be using, let's see, what ink should we use? I'm going to clean up my stamp over here first. We're going to be using our little polka dot stamp. Comes in that bitty background set. And let's use Orange Zest on one of these. And I didn't over ink this one. As a matter of fact, I don't have the refill for this. I have to get the refill. So we're going to stamp one of these in the Orange Zest. So there's our Orange Zest. Isn't that adorable? Doesn't it look like a little piece of fabric? And then I'm going to stamp 2 of these in the Orange Zest. Alright, let me just clean this off, because I'm going to use a different color ink on this one. And I'm just using a baby wipe. And for this one, we're going to use the Simply Chartreuse. Whoop! So we'll ink this one up. We have our piece there, and we'll just stamp our image on there. Oh, I love that color. This color and Hawaiian Breeze together are wonderful. And since I use that one that has a lot of ink on it, I'm just going to use my piece of scrap paper to wipe up some of that ink. So there we go. That's all of our stamping. I'm just going to put that aside. And then I'm going to take some twine, and I'll go ahead and do this off camera, but I'm going to put little bows on our buttons here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Okay, so I have my buttons done. I'm going to take a piece of craft cardstock that I cut at 4 1/4 by 8 1/2, and I created a score line at 4 1/4. So I'm just going to go ahead and fold that, and I'm just going to, Paper Tray Ink's craft cardstock is pretty thick, so I'm just going to use my bone folder to make a nice crease there. And we're going to be using a little card, these little, as I'm calling them, swatches of fabric. You can even run these through the sewing machine and get a nice little cut from those too. So we'll do, I think we're going to do something like that. Maybe more like this. You know, I want to do something different. I want my card to open this way. So we're going to do it this way. I'm going to put my little green one here, and then my 2 orange ones over on this side. And I'll put that one down the bottom here. So, alright, so I'm just going to lift this card up, and then I'm going to use my little snail adhesive, or my Tombow Mono glue is what I'm trying to say. So I'm just going to kind of use my card here as my guide before I put that one down. I think that looks pretty good. So we'll go ahead and put adhesive on the back of this one, and then I'll do my other one. So I'm going to make sure my card is roughly in the center, just like that. And then we'll put this one down, and that will be it for those. How adorable is that? Alright, so I'm going to use pop dots on the back of this one. So we're just going to go ahead and adhere those down. I just love this set. It's so simple. And you kind of get that vintage kind of feel too. So I'm going to use now the pop dots on the back of my buttons here, and just going to kind of stagger them on my card. There we go. And then the last thing I'm going to do is use my white gel pen as soon as I find it. I saw it on my desk here a little while ago, and it's got to still be around here somewhere. Here it is. And I'm just going to do a faux stitch line going all the way around my card. Okay, everybody, that's my card. Thanks for watching another episode of Creations with Christina. I'll see you next time. Bye!